What's up, y'all? Recently, Saquon Barkley came out and spoke about the fact that since he's been franchise tagged, he doesn't want to play on that, and he feels like he deserves more than that. And he also spoke about other top runner backs like Josh Jacobs and, you know, what's his name? Tony Pollard. And he spoke about the fact that they were all tagged, and this was a breakout year for all three of them, and they had a nice year, and they weren't able to really hit the market and really see if other teams were willing to give them more than a franchise tag. So they felt like it wasn't fair, and so many people feel as though running backs are becoming basically useless in the league, and they feel like they shouldn't be paid that much. So Saquon wanted to make a stand about it. And first of all, Saquon had, when coming out of college, coming out of Penn State, he had been given a 4-year contract worth $31 million. And when you break that down annually, he's getting at least $7 million a year. And then also including his fifth year, if they decided to pick it up, which they did, the Giants. They picked it up and they gave him an extra 7. So he made like $38 million. So with that being said, this is not bad. This is a great deal to have, but he feels as though like the running back group is being diminished, and he feels like he wants to make a stand. And you know what? Because of how many yards and how valuable he is to the team and to the league, out of all people, I feel like he is that guy to make a stand. He deserves, what I'm saying? Like, he has that right to make that stand and make that, judgment. And, feel how you want to feel. Because, Lamar did the same about, for example, just him being a quarterback. He did the same thing. He stood up for what he believed in, and, he got his contract finally. But that's because he had so much leverage on the team. And that's the same way with Saquon on the Giants. Because, we all can say that, Saquon is a huge part of that offense. And that's the reason I feel like, Daniel Jones got his contract this year. And when it's all said and done, it's like Saquon has done a lot. He had 1,300 rushing yards, and he put up 300 receiving yards. And when you think about it, when you look at the stats, Daniel Jones targeted him the most out of all the wide receivers. He basically turned Saquon Barkley into a wide receiver. So while putting up 1,300 rushing yards. So out of respect, I felt like we have to, I feel like the league has to listen to him. You know what I'm saying? Just because, and it's not his first time putting up nice stats at the receiving position, but it's just something that he's great at, and he's an all-around player, and it just shows. And he's basically saying that his skill set, Saquon is basically saying that when you think about what he does for the team, it's not fair to put him in this bubble of he's just a running back. But he also makes the case of he's not just a running back. He's also a wide receiver. So it kind of you know what? Because now that you think about it, it's like Lamar was a running back and he was a quarterback. So it's like he played a huge part. So it's like and he was a huge part of the offense, and it's just like he had so much leverage to where it was like they listened to him. So I can see why Saquon is saying this. And I think the lifespan of a running back versus a quarterback is a huge difference. I think quarterbacks is about, at the minimum, 10 years. And for running backs, I believe at the minimum 5 years. And, a great example of a wide receiver and a quarterback who basically ended their careers at the same amount of time was Andrew Luck and Todd Gurley. They both did 6 years, and you see how that went. But if Saquon wanted to compare it to a quarterback and a wide receiver, or just anybody on the team, because I feel like everybody's valuable on the team, but I feel like it depends on the circumstances. And for Saquon at the Giants, his circumstances is he's a vital part. He's valuable, and he's a huge part of the offense. So that's what he's making. He's making this stand that just because I'm a running back, and just because you feel that we shouldn't be paid that much, that's not true. It shouldn't be that way. It should be how much of an impact you make on the team is how much you should be paying me. And I should be able to, at least hit the market and see what other people are willing to give you, So he just felt like that was very unfair. And, as a Commander fan, this would probably be great for us, him not being on the team going against him if Saquon decides to not play this season and sit out. But, people have been making a case that, what's his name? Le'Veon Bell had stayed out for a season, and, he regretted it. But Saquon was also saying that, that's not me. It has nothing to do with my situation. But, it's something I think about. But at the same time, it has nothing to do with him and his circumstances. So it's like, and I honestly feel like if they're not willing to pay Saquon what he's worth or allow him, I think it would be a little too late because they have until July 17th. But if they don't give him what he feel like he's worth, then I think he should sit out, But honestly, I don't know how good or bad that would be for him, because it's just like, I don't know. When you think about it, it's like it could be bad because if he sits out too long, he might get rusty. But it could be good. And then it also could, it also can be bad because then if he sits out, if he plays, then he doesn't prove himself just like he did this year, and he gets injured, or that would just prove their point of why they don't want to pay him that much. So it's kind of like it would work in his favor, but it also wouldn't. So, I see he's trying to take a stand, and it reminds me of Lamar when he did his. And, he didn't want to risk getting injured and, not being able to hit the market and, really get what he want. And, he didn't get injured again. He healed up, and, the Ravens really wanted to keep him. And that's the same situation for the Giants. They want to keep Saquon, but they just paid Daniel Jones so much money that it's just like I don't even know if there's any room for Saquon. But, stranger things have happened. So I'm sure they can make some room and pay him extra, whatever. But, Saquon is trying to also make a stand for all the running backs. He's not trying to just, look out for just himself. But, he's trying to, he's trying to, put forth the fact that I want to get what I deserve. Not just what you think, or what's comfortable. I want to get what I deserve. And, running backs, I feel like they deserve it. They put their body on the line so much. In like one season, they can go up to like 200 to 300 attempts. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. Like, and every time, almost every play, they're getting hit. And just to think about what that's doing to your body. And some running backs are like, they one of those people that go head up every play. Like Ezekiel Elliott, for example. Like, he's that guy. So it's just like, imagine what that does to you in the long run when your career is over, or when you have to end your career early. Like, I'm putting my body on the line. I feel like, but out of all people, Ezekiel Elliott, he got a great deal. He had a wonderful deal. But just to go back to like, what's his name? Tony Pollard. it's I feel like this is a step up for him, because he had signed a 4-year deal worth $3 million when he came out of college. So, and he came in as a backup under Ezekiel Elliott. So it was just like from going from $3 million and making like I think under $1 million each year versus making $10 million. I think this was great for him, but it doesn't pay out for every running back, And like Josh Jacobs, that I think this was great for him, you know what I'm saying, as well. I think he came out. I can't think he came out and got. I think it was 10 or 11 million for 4 years, and basically he got like. I think it was around 2 to 3 million each year, and you see where he at now. You know what I'm saying, and he getting 10 million. So I feel like this is great for them, honestly. For 1 year you get 10 million or around that. And it's just like I don't see what's wrong with it, but Saquon has really felt like I think it's really stemming from just the fact that he really had some rough years, and then now he really had a beautiful year, and he made it back to the Pro Bowl, and it's just when you really put everything on the line, you feel like, all right, now I deserve whatever it is, And of course, he did it. He did his thing, you know what I'm saying? In his 5th year, he did great. So I believe they should pay the man. And I think that was real disrespectful what they did to, Saquon, not giving him a great deal versus giving Daniel Jones $40 million, and I think that was a little I don't know, man. I think that was just crazy. Like, his production this year wasn't even that good. Like, he had 15 touchdowns. Like, and he ran. I think it was like 600, 700 yards. I mean, that's nice. That's cool and all, but bro, you had 15 touchdowns. Like, Patrick Mahomes had about 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was 50 or a little bit above 50. But it's just like, bro, like, the math ain't adding up. But this is great. This would be perfect for the Commanders. You're seeing as though he scored 2 touchdowns on us in the 2 games that we played him last season, and he basically he was a huge factor in each game. So, being as though Daniel Jones always looks for him as the check down, or just as a reliable person to throw to. So him not being there is going to help us. I think we'll have a better chance of winning that game, those 2 games that we play. So, I think that would be great for us. But I think running back should be paid, or I think what they should do is, man, I don't even know, because I just feel like the franchise tag was just too much. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like it's one of those things that teams do because they know that if you get injured or you don't prove yourself in this same year, they don't have to pay you as much. And they could even trade you or get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's one of them things, they just sneaky. And it's a business move. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, I wish Saquon all the blessings, you know what I'm saying? I hope he get what he looking for, and I hope he changed the market, I hope he is able to reset the market, and hopefully he can. So we're going to see what happens.